What it is, YouTube? It's your boy, my Max,
Solo Jolo,
and we are Max Critical. We're gonna here talk about Battlefield 6 and all the issues.
Long awaited video. Now, I guess to start it off, right? Start it off. The beta happened. Everybody played it. Obviously, I had a chance to slip in there a good couple of times. Didn't get a chance to really get in there.
Got a couple games in. You know what I'm saying? Solid game, solid beta. For sure, obviously, beta 1 was a bit better than beta 2, but I didn't even get to play beta 1. I played a little bit of beta 2. But what I saw of beta 1, I was like, when I got to beta 2, it was just not indicative of what beta 1 was showing me, but I still had fun.
You know, it's shaping up. It's shaping up good.
Shaping up to be a wonderful game.
Almost immediately, the strangest conversations started to happen at the broadest level, right? From all the most vocal people, the streamers, obviously. We all love the streamers. Yes, sir. Yeah, Tim the Tat Man, XQC, we love them all for sure.
We love them, don't we? Can't live with them, can't live without them.
Can't live, exactly. And so they had takes, obviously. The only competent first-person shooter in the market for the last, 7 to 8 fucking years has been Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They obviously had some, preference issues and small nitpicks that seemed really weird and just out of place. Preferences and functions that would genuinely serve none in a game like Battlefield for the original Battlefield enthusiast. If that makes any sense.
The core Battlefield audience.
The OGs and the core audience that plays it for the reasons that they play it. Wouldn't necessarily have a good place. But then again, they also have issues with the more traditional sort of way they've sort of went towards game modes. Like they had pushed back against TDM, and I love Battlefield's TDM. You can eat my ass.
Right. Oh my god.
Outside of whatever I think, one of the funnier or more eventful things that happened is this sort of hit piece video that's dropped, right? By Kingard.
Kingard. The Kingard,
and big streamers just don't get Battlefield, right? And I watched the whole video. I have.
More than one.
But the initial first time I watched it through, I had a particular reaction, right? Because nothing of what he was saying or implicating was wrong at all. He's right, technically. Right up until he got to the moment where he's making fun of Tim the Tat Man, right? Where he's talking about battle royales like they're this new mode or whatever, and he's like making a joke because there's like been a bajillion battle royales that's dropped
for years. Yeah, for over a decade.
And wanting a battle royale out of Battlefield, which is probably going to happen because test footage got leaked or whatever. But wanting a battle royale,
and this is also EA we're talking about.
Yeah, it's EA. They were gonna do it anyway. But wanting it out of Battlefield is weird, and it is. But the way he made this joke, right? I'll just show you.
Several of the world's top streamers have voiced their criticisms of the Battlefield 6 beta, and I feel like I've stepped into a time machine with how outdated some of these takes are.
So what do you mean the newer game mode that has come into gaming, the Battle Royale, is overdone? How is that possible?
Wow, primitive.
And so, right now, as you see, he's brought up just not a portion, right? Just a portion of the biggest, most important battle royales that has dropped since the genre.
Mm-hmm.
How many of these games can be taken serious as like real battle royale shooters? Honestly, though, like let's really look at it. Let's really look at it. Think about it, because first off, we have completely write-offable games like DayZ and Z1 Battle Royale, like immediately write-offable games. Then he's like, well, hold on, you got PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It's like one of the biggest games ever. Because it's mobile. It's, like I said, competitive, competent shooter. Not even necessarily competitive in the traditional gameplay sense, but you know what I mean when
competitive in the market.
The era of actual competitive, big updates, actual changes, say stuff like that. Hold on now, Fortnite is still the biggest game ever. But is it because of Battle Royale? Fortnite has become a platform for many games like Roblox. That's always been what they've been moving towards. And besides, when you think of Fortnite, you never think of the gameplay. You've never thought of the gameplay. the first thing you think about is the skins. One of the biggest reasons to even play Fortnite. One of the reasons I even started to play Fortnite when I did. It's because the skins were cool. That's it. That's where it ended.
And Travis Scott and Godzilla would show up sometime.
You know, and then you might
the crossover event.
Yeah, exactly. Which are just glorified concerts. But
yeah.
But and then you might say, well, Apex, the Call of Duty ones. Come on now. Well, hold on, because we all have seen the descent of the enjoyment of Apex. We've all seen that. We've seen that firsthand. Look it up. Go play it. It feels like hardly anybody's doing that now still. And we all know Call of Duty as a brand, as a whole, is just sort of in this weird, bad slog where there's nothing really good happening. They're not dropping any good updates to fix any of the problems, nor are they dropping updates to add in actual things to do. Anybody playing Warzone is there for the skin grind. you know, nobody's there. Nobody's loading the Warzone for real, for fun anymore. And besides the media anecdotal evidence that you can search up for yourself, my biggest key to this was the fact that anybody's asking for another one at all. There hasn't been a real one that's dropped in the last,
5 years?
5 years? There hasn't been a real shooter, Battle Royale, or just shooter in general, honestly, that has, said that to compete with the brand of Call of Duty. Nevertheless, the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
What we're gonna point at X-Defiant. Game's dead now.
Game's gone. And it didn't have a battle royale.
And everybody at the time said it has the best shot, but it still couldn't do it
because it's Ubisoft. But
well,
that's another conversation.
Another conversation to be had, sure. But it's like, I look at these things, I see the conversations, and it's like I never feel like somebody wanting something can ever come from a completely wrong and naive place. Naive for sure. Wrong, I don't believe so. I believe people want a battle royale from something like Battlefield for a good reason. And I feel like this could be a really good one right here. There are none. There are no good ones. There are no good ones for real.
The last Battlefield, the last battle royale we've gotten, and I say I use that very loosely.
Loose.
Because I want to reiterate that we are not really BR players, but we do respect that BR is a mode that has been here for well over a decade, and it has a well-established community. As a matter of fact, there's people that have been born into it. This is all they know. It's been out long enough. The problem is it's been out long, and so the latest craze, if you want to even call it that, came out in 2020 during the pandemic, and it has since run its course. So obviously we need, and again, using that
really loosely, but
obviously a new battle royale needs to come out that can compete with Warzone, because people are tired of fucking playing Warzone.
People are tired of Warzone. It is obvious.
And Kingert says it in the video himself. It's like, you guys need this content to keep your channels going. I'm like, yes. They're BR streamers, and there's no BRs to play.
I don't know if you know this, but in a lot of cases, live service games kind of need the content to continue to be live or serviceable.
Yeah,
it's just the nature of the genre, baby. But it is like these whole. This video came and went by now, and it has had the conversations, and I don't know. I just feel like deeper conversations need to be had about it genuinely, honestly, because Battlefield is not like Battlefield itself is shaping up to to be this long-lasting, serviceable thing at the quality it's trying to release right now. It needs content as a live service game, and it's becoming more apparent now that we don't have the resources to constantly keep up with a live service battle. Live service games need content constantly, and it's becoming more apparent that they won't have the resources to constantly keep up with a live service game, because now the conversation has finally moved on to these articles that came back like weeks ago that EA's goal was always to make this a yearly release and to have a yearly release Battlefield. Now, I hope I don't need to point to the obvious example of why that's a god-awful idea. You know, the Call of Duties in the room are already suffering enough.
Exhibit A, Black Ops 7.
You know, it's like we getting this new Black Ops, all this Black Ops trailers and shit. It still feel like we in the beta for the for the last shit.
This article comes from Game Rant. Rumor: EA wants Battlefield to become an annual release. A new rumor has suggested that EA wants to turn Battlefield into an annual franchise in the vein of Call of Duty. Cause of course they do. Why is that a good idea? It isn't. However, this plan to see a new Battlefield game every year seemingly won't come into effect for some time yet. I bet it won't. Because how are you even going to have the resources to do that when you barely have the resources to make the Battlefields that you are making and have them launch properly on day one? That's why that's why I do agree, and there's a valid reason as to why a battle royale mode could be cool, but we do not need a battle royale at launch because we do not trust the developers of Battlefield to get the launch itself right. So the base game needs at least, in my opinion, 3 months to get fully optimized and fully actually game ready. We need a 3-month grace period to get all those bugs out because we already know there's going to be bugs in the game. It's notorious. This is Battlefield we're talking about.
And server issues that are going to be,
Exactly. And you want to add a battle royale on top of that during the launch, the whole entire game's not going to be playable for months, for probably the entire first half of the year.
Right. And when you think about this beyond a second than just Battlefield, it's like we got all the advertising and news for this, all like 5 or 6 of the smaller companies that are coming together to work on this. If this becomes a yearly release, games companies like Criterion aren't ever going to be able to make a Need for Speed ever again.
We're never going to get
or
other
any
games.
of the other freaking companies, the smaller companies that are helping make it, is ever going to be able to make.
We're never going to get
individual thing.
We're never going to get. What's the other shit? We're never gonna get a decent Star Wars game because after a while they're gonna have Respawn working on Battlefield. It'll be. It'll be that we're gonna lose Apex. They're gonna shut down Apex. This is what's gonna happen. Let me tell you what's gonna happen if we get a Battlefield Battle Royale that goes off, because we got a Battlefield Battle Royale in 2042, but no one gave a fuck about 2042 because that game sucked. So that's a moot point in my opinion. However, if they drop a battle royale in this new game, because everyone's already excited for Battlefield 6, and Battlefield 6 comes out and it's fire, we're never getting any other games like that. If it's not
going to be enough room.
There's not going to be enough room
or free time to make any other games. This is not going to be a thing.
They're going to delete Apex because why? Why would we need Apex? Why we need 2 battle royales? One of them's failing. So they're going to delete Apex or stop supporting that game. And they're going to turn Respawn, instead of letting Respawn make Titanfall 3 like they're supposed to be doing, they're going to be a support studio for the BR mode because they have experience in BR. That's what EA is going to fucking do.
It's just the COD. It needs to be studied, the mindset of some of these big wigs, because the codification of something like Battlefield it's a mind-numbing thought process. Like adding in the occasional traditional first-person shooter game mode to a game like Battlefield that's never had it is one thing, right? TDM and who cares? Okay, cool. It's a cool mode, whatever. Having it on the yearly release is an awful idea.
Terrible.
Having a battle royale to compete with Warzone when you're not even certain of the regular game's success. It's not even out yet. We are unsure of how this is going to play out. To already have a battle royale in the works or even in the thought process is wild. And just the process of turning your game, not an adjacent competitive space shooter, in sort of the same function as it always has been when it comes to Call of Duty versus Battlefield, but having a Battlefield game turn into like a clone of what Call of Duty was?
Nah.
Like what? Like
competing with Call of Duty right now by becoming Call of Duty.
Is it right? It's like it's the they don't even want Call of Duty right now. What are you doing?
We want it. What Battlefield,
do you mean, bro. What do you? This was a perfect time for a game like the Battlefield they seemingly are trying to create to come out. There is no telling what that's gonna look like 3 years from now. There's no telling what's gonna look like next year. To jump the gun immediately, like, yeah, nah, we need to do this every year. What are we talking about? Can we have this be successful first? That's all I want to know. Can we have this be successful first?
Well, they did say they ain't doing it for another 5 years, so I guess obviously they're gonna wait and see.
Right, it's gonna take them a while to get to that point, you know. But I don't know.
I don't like that they're thinking about it at all.
I don't like that that's in the plans whatsoever.
All in all, we say all this to say that the big streamers, while yes, they are dumb, they're not totally invalid. There is a need for a new Battle Royale game. Now, the question is, will Battlefield be able to fulfill that need? We don't know. They're already talking about an annual release, which we feel is the bigger issue.
You know,
is that it's not seeming as if we're just gonna focus on making Battlefield 6 the best game it can be. It seems as if this is gonna be a platform or some sort of excuse, basically, a justification, if you will, for the annual release of Battlefield.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
a bastardization of the franchise, way worse than it getting a battle royale game mode, a new game mode in this 20-something-year-old property.
You know,
I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I really think we have bigger fish to fry here, and that's the broader point. Is that, guys, they're trying to milk this cow. This game's probably going to be the best, like the most successful Battlefield they've had in a while, if it shapes up to be the way we think it's gonna be. So if that's the case, this is all gonna be more of a justification for more predatory monetization practices and a bastardization of the IP itself.
You know, look, guys, I can only look at the signs and tell you what I see. What I've seen so far is this cow hasn't even begun to move yet, and they're already milking. The game ain't out. Game is not even close to being out yet. They're already talking about 5 years from now. They're already talking about release schedules. The game ain't out yet. They're talking about leaks for a battle royale mode that's probably not even going to be in the initial release. The game's not even out yet, and all of these different conversations are happening. And it's, you know, they're red flags. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. These are huge red flags. This probably has, I don't know. Hold on. We need to look that up. Does this game have more pre-orders than 2042?
I don't know. According to these numbers, Battlefield 6 has already sold over 600,000 copies in pre-orders on Steam and has 2.7 million wish lists.
On Steam alone. Right?
And compared to 2042's launch, revenue, or the copies sold was 4 million copies at launch. So we're already on track.
Yeah,
we already have half.
We're half of that on Steam wish lists alone. From all the platform lots, Steam wish lists alone, they are getting the money to start to milk this fucking cow that hasn't hit the farm. And that is the hugest concern of it. And it is a conversation that is skirting by. And I don't want it to be a conversation had fucking a week after the game is launched. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Let's catch this shit at the door, bro.
Yeah. Ultimately, we think there's just a bigger issue of Battlefield 6 core fans versus big streamers and Battle Royale fans. Like, I really think that's not an intentional distraction. I think that's a self-imposed distraction on the internet.
Yeah.
The problem is, the actual issue is that we are going to get fucked if we are not paying attention to the practices of EA. This is still EA we're talking about.
No matter how good this game can be when it drops, EA won't let this franchise stay good for long. And, you know, I feel like that's just the core of the message here, honestly.
Yeah, but that's our take on it, guys. What do you guys think? Are we missing something? Are we tripping?
Are we tripping? Are we reading too deep into this? Maybe.
Yeah. Are we? You know what do you guys think? Like,
what do you think?
Are the streamers valid or are they totally retarded? We want to hear you guys' thoughts on it. Thanks to everybody who likes, comments, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.